That is cool. That is cool, man. We're in red. Both of us in red. We woke up thinking the same thing today.
Yep.
Man. So you feeling pretty good today?
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling?
Yep.
All right. Did you get your grades for me?
I can fill it up. Yeah.
Can you send it to me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, send it to me, and then I'll look them over, and then we'll get back together. If not tomorrow, maybe Friday to talk about them. But I just want to look at them. But if you can get that to me, that'd be great. So I'm not gonna hold you long. But again, as we was kind of talking yesterday, a lot of stuff is going on, as far as, getting ready for the investments. And like I said, I want to make sure that we continue with the plan to where you could be the first student, because you're the one that actually started, the YBU, Generation Next investment program, or Wall Street or Black Wall Street program. And so where you're at is really, awesome and off the chain, but we need to have diversification. Diversification is really, really important. So I'm going to share my screen right quick. Show you again, I developed this program to get us, and it's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that's really important. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So we're calling this the Youth Branding University Wall Street Generation Next diploma level of investment program. And so the goal is, as you complete each level, you'll get a certificate, YBU certificate saying that you completed. And so I kind of use the kind of academic levels of what I'm calling of investments. So we got what I call the preschool diploma of investing. So if you open up a bank account or have a bank account already open, then you get a YBU certificate. And then if you open up a credit union account, which is important, which would be your emergency fund, because we want to make sure that, besides just you having just a bank account that to take care of the day-to-day or week or monthly expenses, that you have an account that's separate from that for emergency if something comes up or something that you're planning for. So you don't want to mix money, so you want to have a bank account that's taking care of your normal daily, weekly, or monthly kind of things that's going on. Then you want to have an account where you're planning for something to purchase, wherever that may be. And then maybe in a third account that's for emergency fund. And with that, continue to talk about certificate of deposit. So that certificate of deposit could be, your emergency fund, where the money market could be you're planning for something. And then you got, again, the bonds. Want to make sure you get some bonds, both government and also corporate. So again, you're doing the diversification, because there's going to be times where the stock market is doing really, really well. Bond markets may not be doing as well. And then it may flip on you. So again, you're able to maximize both and also leverage, your risk. And then we got the YBU middle school diploma level of investing, which involves, social responsibility investing. So we want to look at stocks that, companies that do social enterprise, and find out companies what's important to you. Like if the environment is important to you, we may want to buy some stock or mutual fund that is geared just for that. But at the same time, and then you got the other stock that's, looking at some other avenues. And then stock in general, mutual funds, which is a collaboration of stock into one vehicle. So you may have multiple companies that what they call a mutual fund. So again, that's leveraging. So again, you're leveraging your regular stock, you're leveraging your bonds, you're leveraging your mutual funds, you're leveraging your certificates of deposits. And then naturally, we want to do a college fund. Again, it doesn't have to be a 4-year college. It could be, or it could be some type of school, and we need to look into that. Because again, I think there's some educational programs that may qualify, and we have to research this under the 529 plan, which again, what it does is leverage your money and also prevents you to have to pay taxes if it's on education. We have to look at it, but if you're really interested into real estate and even looking at construction and looking at flipping homes and eventually getting into commercial property, there's some other educational programs that may qualify for the 529 plan. They're not necessarily that is college as the traditional college, but it's educational, which we have to look into that. But again, the key is maximizing and leveraging your investments to do your short-term, middle-term, and long-term planning overall. And then naturally, you know, in the process, and this is really what's really important, is also you can be ahead of the game compared to a lot of other young people, and probably would be in that top less than 1% that you're planning on your retirement. And so what the cool thing is that you can invest into a Roth IRA, okay? And if for some reason something happens, any money that you deposited, you can actually make a withdrawal just what the money that you deposit, at least that's what the law says for right now, without having getting penalized or taxed on it. Now you can't take any money that you earned because that money's supposed to be set aside until you're 59 and a half. So the money that you made off of interest, you can't take that, or if you do, you're gonna get taxed on that. But again, you're leveraging, and the goal is hopefully you don't have to use that money, because that's also gonna help you to meet that goal. What did you say? Did you say you want to become a millionaire?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to help you to move, or maybe in a billionaire. Like I mentioned to you yesterday, your brother, you know, you got 5 years more years than your brother, so you still got a chance to be a multimillionaire and potentially a billionaire if we do this right. The key thing is listen to me very clearly. Warren Buffett was 11 years old when he started investing, and he's a multi-billionaire. There's no question with the technology, with all the information, and also Warren Buffett didn't have a coach at 11. You have a coach in me, and then you have other resources through the internet. So and then other training opportunities to really nail this down. Where you potentially become a millionaire? No, you're definitely gonna become a millionaire. We already said that. We're gonna show that again, but definitely a multi-millionaire, or even become a billionaire. Would you like to become a billionaire?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. That's what I love about you, man. And then moving on, then we want to get into some other things in investment. So not just looking just at other things, but looking at EFTs and looking at options and index funds. Again, what we want to do is we want to leverage your risk, because I believe, and if you do some research, we don't know what the market's going to be or look like in the future, but we got some crazy things that's happening in our country and throughout the world. Who would ever thought that we would have problems with getting products from other countries? That's having an impact on our economy. Now, who would have thought that the truck industry, that I think they said that they got 30 to 40% loss in employees? Well, that's having an impact on the market. So again, you want to leverage all of that so that you can maximize everything. So we want to look at, okay, what other things can we do to leverage stock, bonds, mutual funds, retirement plans, and other things like EFTs, options, and index funds. So that would be our bachelor program. So again, if you get to the bachelor program, then again, if you do all of this, then you'll get a certificate for that. The next thing is the master's program, getting the diploma, is dealing with futures, global investing. Eventually we want to look at, okay, United States is not the only place that you want to invest in. What can we look globally? Okay, to do some things there, and then also looking at insurance. And one of the things that there's insurance that you can get to protect, if something was to happen to you, to leverage that, but also it's investment. So they got the index universal life policy. We want to look at that. We may want to even look at a regular life insurance policy, whether it be whole life or just term life. But we know that we definitely want to look at this index universal insurance policy or life insurance policy, because it has an investment component to that. And that's where the wealthy people, the millionaires and the billionaires, they're planning for that. And the cool thing is that we're working with a company that actually is willing to discount, for our organization to get young people into that they can do this. So this is really cool. So we're going to have some conversation on that in the very near future. Then the PhD program is now you get into commodities. If you get some gold, silver, some coins, which you already got some coins already, so you're kind of ahead of the game with some coins. art. If you get just some art that you can buy, that you can make tons of money. Then other kinds of stuff. Just think about it. The football that that 600 touchdown with Tom Brady, that football is already worth $500,000. That one, I don't know how much, I don't know what it's worth right now. I'm going to give it appraised, but I got that plate. It's a newspaper plate. Over 20 years ago, 2000 when Kobe and Shaq won their first championship. Well, I got the plate that created from the Los Angeles Times, whatever they call it. The plate that created all the newspapers for that. I don't know how much that's value, but that's value. And I got some other things that may be worth some money. So again, investing to other things. And then naturally we have Forex, which is where the big companies or corporations are actually, they deal with. And because now things have changed where they let people like us that don't have the big money, like the big companies, that now can get into Forex. And then the other component is, as you want to know what you've been talking about, which is part of your vision for now, is looking at real estate, active physical real estate, which is part of investing. Whether that be residential and flipping homes, or whether that buying residential and keeping homes for long term. Then naturally, if we can get you to commercial, man, that could be big time, man, because that's really where, a lot of the millionaires and billionaires, that's where they're spending their money or investing in this, they're investing in commercial property. When you like to have when you like to own a 100-story building,
yeah,
man, that could, man, if you make it there, man, you're big time. So that's all a possibility. And then part of that is cryptocurrency, and some of these we may, you may dibble in part of each one of those categories, but overall, if we can achieve this over time and leverage so that again, dealing with the market, you're able to leverage your money to become that millionaire and billionaire. And also learning. So the other thing is key is learning. So again, I believe in, and I think that why this program is successful is that instead of you just learning it or hearing it from me, and we're empowering you by talking about it, but also you're actually doing it. Actually setting up the application, fill out the application, and then monitoring things to see how it happens. And then you can figure out, okay, do I want to continue to do this or not? But having that experience is phenomenal. And I believe if we can do all of this, which is, possible, or a great percentage of it before you graduate from high school, man, you're going to be so ahead of the game. That's going to be phenomenal. And the things that you're learning is going to be key. So there's two things that I want to make sure that we accomplish today. And really why I wanted to, well, three things I really want to talk to you about is one is, I want to bring up the investment calculator because I want you to put in the amount of money that you have now.
I said we did that, remember?
Yeah, but I want to do it again. Yeah, I want to do it again because I want to show the graph again. And then I want to make sure that you copy the graph so you can send that to me and also send it to your mom, because one of the things I think is going to be really key in this whole process too is visual. When you come to my house, you can see all the stuff that, and you've been here, you can see all the stuff they have on the wall, all the achievements that my daughter have made. With this, in sports, what this is your opportunity to document and show your success in investing. So I think having a graph of where you're at now and having that framed and either put on your desk somewhere in your room on the wall is really cool, because now you'll be able to see, and also you'll be able to document, okay, this is where I was, but just think about where you're going to be next year, where you're going to be, 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, from now, I look at, the young man that, we helped start his business. He started from zero a few years ago, Now, and even with the midst of the pandemic, he's at $13,000. You know, so we kind of document that somewhat along the way. You know, we could probably do a better job, of which we had to document a lot better. But we know when the last time I got a text from his mom, he's at 30, and he's only 17 years old. He got $13,000 in his business. So we're fortunate, YBU's fortunate that we had him with the 13,000. Now we got you with the 4,500 in investments. That's really, really cool. And then the second part of the other part is I want you to bring up your account, because I just want to, you know, again, capture and take a picture even of the graph of all of your investments that you have at now, and also take a picture of the graph. So again, that may be something too that you may want to frame. So again, you can look at that because you're going to be so far ahead of that. So let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. So first of all, you can bring up your investment account. Okay. So I'm going to share, come back and unshare. And then I'm going to share. So bring up your investment account. And we're only going to be there for a second. Hold on for a second. Got to stop sharing. I hit the wrong button. Oh, we got to stop sharing. Sorry about that. I get so excited about this. I mean, I'm just so proud. Man, you won't believe how so proud I am of you. Just amazing. So you should have the share screen.
I'm gonna do it on the computer.
Yep. Yeah, I want you to bring up on your computer, bring up your investment account. Now, so I want to be able to, you know, share some of this stuff with other people. Sharing. This is, see where this young man is at. This is where you guys need to be. And again, you know, he's killing it. Some people, when I share this, your story and our story, they don't believe it. It's like, man, Dillan is killing it. He's crushing it. And like I said, and then another part is, like I said, we're still planning on working where we can do, you know, our channel, our YouTube channel and all that, where we can go and we can talk to other young people. And I'm waiting, I'm gonna be setting up even for you to talk to a couple of young people very, very soon, so they can see the challenges that, you know, right now I'm meeting with some people on the weekend. So we got to figure out something during the week where they can meet you and you can show those guys, this is where I'm at. You guys can do the same thing. In fact, the two young ladies I'm going to be meeting with this weekend, one is 10 years old and one 14 years old. I'm going to be talking to their grandparent and their dad to see if we can meet one day during the week for about 15, 20 minutes. So you can just pull up and show them what you're doing.
Okay.
So this is, so can you go to the screen that shows all of your stock? Yeah, so that's what I want to see. Hold on for a second. Yeah, there you go. So hold on. So this is really cool. So have you added more?
I'm about to.
Okay. And I want to talk to you about that too a little bit more, because we want to make sure that we're investing in the right things and that we're looking at long term, not just short term also.
That's what most people do.
Yeah, because long term is really, you know, is really, really key. So let's look at, so tell me some of the stocks. So you got Solidified. I can't see all of this, but who else all do you have? Let's just go down the list right quick. So just go down the list and just tell me all the different names of the stock that you got, because this is not as clear as I can see.
SoFi, Pfizer, Cyberlux, Enterprise Product Partners, Smile Direct Club, Walgreens, Newmont Corporation, Corsair Gaming, Intel, and Voyager Digital.
Okay, and then you have 4,244.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So let's do this. I like Pfizer since a lot of stuff is going on with Pfizer. Click on Pfizer so we can look at the graph. I think that'd be good to just look at that particular one. That's pretty cool. So you can see that's kind of going, no, go back to the graph.
Oh, I have my own chart system.
Okay, so that's your chart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Hold on, let me look at that. So again, you're learning on how to use the different charts. This is just amazing, to see, where you're at with this. And one of the things is that one of the things that is the hot stock, or this in the keep right now, is the fiber, not just because of the coronavirus, but overall, staying in the medical field. So that's really, really good. What does their chart look like?
This is year to date right here.
Okay. Okay, great. So that's really awesome, man. Again, very proud of you. Let's pull up again. Let's do one more. Let's pull up Walgreens, just out of curiosity, or Solify. No, let's pull up Solify. So that's one of the stocks that they're saying keep long term, and that's supposed to be pretty hot. They're saying that could be the next Amazon. Oh man, that's okay. This is good. Okay. And we still need to look at our traditional stock, what I call kind of traditional stock, eventually in buying, looking at Apple and Google, or Alphabet as they call it, because those are some, I think, still some key stocks to have. Facebook, we're kind of like, a lot of stuff is going on Facebook. I don't know if I would get Facebook or not. There's just a lot of stuff from the government trying to propose different regulations on them. They're concerned about some things that they've done with young people that could be harmful. So I'm kind of out to lunch with Facebook right now. They're not going to go away, but I just don't know what is going to happen with them for now. So it's one of those stocks that you really got to keep your eyes on. So the next level is that for us to get to look at doing some mutual funds. So we need to look at a date, and I would like to do this probably within the next month, if not sooner, where you get $25 worth of mutual funds. So let's go to the screen where it shows you all the investments. So here's all the screens where you can do mutual funds. So we'll look at that, and look at different types of mutual fund. But then there should be one that shows all the products. So let's look at the screen that shows all the products, just to show you all the stuff that you can do with this. So I'm going to show where it shows the drop down, where it should show mutual fund. It should show stock. So there you go. Hold on for a second. So yeah, so you got the mutual, you got the stock, you got the mutual funds. Hold on for 1 second. So this is really, really great, because also the other thing that we're looking at is, with this whole program, is looking at which investments or companies or firms or brokerage firms do we want to go with. And like I said, there's advantages or disadvantages of what I call the premier companies that are also traditional, which is, Charles Schwab is what you have in Fidelity. So we got you set up on Charles Schwab, but we got some young people that set up with Fidelity, and we got a student that set up with Robinhood. But Robinhood is limited. There's some other platforms, that's kind of limited. So I'm leaning towards long term that we're probably going to be looking at only really promoting, for the most part, is Charles Schwab and Fidelity, because they offer a lot of different things. But I'm seeing now is I'm continuing to do some research. So I'm right now working on a comparison of the different platforms between Charles Schwab and Fidelity, and maybe a couple other sites, to say, okay, what do they offer, to see, okay, which one is the best, and then also be able to share with people, okay, this is what this one would do, this is what this one would do, which one is the best as we continue to set up more students. So this is really, really great that we have this option to do all these different things. So let's do this. So let's bring up the screen where we can do where we can project the investments. So we can get out of this, and then we look at okay, to show how you know, right now what you're at, I'm just gonna use $4,500. Where would that take you, 50 years from now? And then then I can make sure that we get that, where you capture that and you can share that with your mom so she can print it off and put it in a frame and also get it to me. So you got, I'll put 4,500. Let's just round it off to 4,500. And then $0, so no monthly contribution.
How many years?
Let's do, so you're 17 now?
16.
Or 16, yeah, 16, I forgot that. So you're 16. So let's do 60 years. No, I mean 50 years. Let's do 50 years because then that puts you at 66. So you got 50 years investing. Let's do a 12% interest rate. Yeah, let's do 12. Let's be a little aggressive because you should be really, and so what we're going to do also, the next time we meet, we're going to be looking at, should be annual. No, annual, that should be annual. And then what we're going to look at, we're going to look at your risk factor, but I already believe that you got a high risk factor. So what we want to do is, hold on for a second. So this is where you would be if you were where you're at now, basically, and if you were to, 50 years. So you're looking at $1.3 million. Really, really cool, man. So let me ask you this, like I said, even though we're going to be looking at investing into, so can you show that table? Let's show that table. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to the other screen. So we want to go back there. So what we want to do is, I will, do they allow you to print this screen right here? I can't see because it's kind of small. If not, what I can do is, or download it. So download it. And then send that to me. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Hold on for a second. So hold it there because that's a little bit bigger. I like that. That is really, really cool. I like this. Let me do it one more time to make sure I got it. And this is just off the chain. And again, showing where you could end up being at one point. So that's downloaded now?
Yes.
Okay, so send that to me and to your mom right after we get off the call so she can print it off at work and then she can have that framed. I really want to have that framed and then for you to put it up on your wall. So that's gonna keep in your mind, because I want you to stay focused. I don't want you to sight, because it's gonna be easy as you get older to say, hey, you know what? I can use that money for something else. But if you keep in mind that, hey, that this could turn into $1.3 million, that's going to be really cool. So let's really, I want you to dream, but be realistic. But also I wanted you to consider where you're at now. I don't want you to look at future earnings, but I'm looking at right now you're working, and I'm not going to look at that we may be investing to other things. Let's just focus just on this. But what do you think reasonably that with you working that you can actually contribute additional to this $4,500 per month?
$500 a month.
You sure you can do that?
Yeah, I've been doing it. I just stopped for a little bit, but yeah, that's what I was initially doing.
Okay, so let's do it, because if you can continue that pattern even after you get out of high school, I don't know if that's possible or not. There may be a few years that you may not be able to do that, but if you can continue to stay to that commitment, even if you get married or other things come into your life, if you can stay to that commitment, let's see where you would be at. So if you would contribute additional $500, which is again is aggressive, considering we don't know what the future is going to be like, other expenses that you're going to have. So right there, wow, man, you would be at, hold on for a second, you'll be at $15 million. So again,
I say, you want me to make it bigger?
Hold on for a second. I just wanted this way too. So this is going to get you at $15 million, which is unbelievable. Makes you a multimillionaire. And again, this type of information is so powerful that most young people don't know that. Do you think most young people know this?
No.
No, there you go. So yeah, let's make it bigger now. Yeah, this is great. So it's showing this 15 million. It doesn't show the other screens. I do like the other part where it shows you, I mean, in big letters, the multi-million, the $15 million, which is just phenomenal. This is just unbelievable. Like I said, if you can maintain this, and you know, and again, especially we diversify, you're gonna be very close to that. And you know, it's just phenomenal. This is just phenomenal. So go ahead and download this so you can send this again to your mom and to me. So again, she can print it off, because I think the more that you see this is going to keep you on track. Or hopefully keep you on track.
I said this one is downloaded.
Okay, this one downloaded. So again, send that to me right off we get off the call. That's really a major project, because I want to have it. I need you to have it. I need your mom to frame it, you know, so to print it off and frame it, so she'll have that to put up on your wall or up on top of your desk or wherever you think is, you know, preferable. And this is going to, like I said, also this is going to help some other young people when they show this, because this is something that, you know, you're not saying that I'm dreaming on doing. This is something that you're saying that you're doing. And that's what I guess the biggest thing is being realistic in this. And this is something that I'm willing, committed to do. And we're going to actually put together. So another piece of this is that we're going to put together a contract that's saying that, you know, that you're committed, you know, to this strategic plan. Because I think the more things that you document and put in writing, and you see, okay, I can go back there, okay, I make this commitment. Because you're going to have things come at you. There's things that you know, you may decide that you're going to get married, and you're going to say, okay, I got this money, I use that money to get married. Well, if you do that, that's going to prevent you from meeting your goal. You know, and there's nothing wrong, like goals do change. But again, if you don't stay with the plan that you have, you're not going to meet the objective that you have. And so you may not have as much money as you have projected that you want to have. And like I said, you're setting not only a legacy for yourself, but you're setting a legacy for your future, for your family. This is really cool. And it could be like, man, we'd really be cool. Because we look at, you know, I won't be around in 50 years. But no, I'll be thinking from up on heaven, looking at you and your brother. If he has 15 million, you have 50, that's $30 million that you guys brought to your family. And from where, you know, when talking to your mom and dad, and I talked to your dad this weekend, and he's like, man, this is all about my kids. You know, phenomenal. You know, that, you know, they're not going to have that. And where you're at, they're not going to have, they can't say that.
Yeah.
And you'll be self-dependent, self-reliant. And this doesn't include, like I said, if you know, the other thing is, it, you know, is really key, and I think it's really important that we'll talk about down the line is, you know, if you can do this, I'm really big on, and some kids are already doing it because of the pandemic, but the longer that you can stay home, not get an apartment, and save that money, you know, just for example, do you know how much the average, because most young people now, like my daughter and some other people, you know, they want to live in, and some of my other friends and their kids, you know, their kids want to stay in a nice area. They want to stay in either, you know, at the Print Mall area, or they want to stay over there off of Howell Mill and 75, or they want to stay up in Alpharetta. So you know how much apartments cost?
About $2,000 a month.
It depends. It can go that high. No, probably right now you can get something about 1,500. You know, and it could get up to 2,000. But let's just do the low side of the 1,500. So what's $1,500 per month times 12?
18,000.
$18,000. So just think about if you stayed at home after you graduate from high school or after you graduate from college, whatever that may be, take 18,000 times 3. What is that?
54,000.
54,000. How many young people do you know that at that type of age, except if they come from wealthy families, that have that kind of money?
Not anybody really.
Yep. So again, when I'm trying to get young people to say, and I can say this, so then while I'm saying all of this, because this is something I could have done, but I didn't do, but I had the potential to do, but I didn't listen to my dad, I didn't listen to my mom, because I did stay at home, but I went out, and I'm not saying not to spend, but I'm saying find a balance. So these, so I don't know if you got a pen and paper right now, but if you don't worry about it, we'll do that another time. But what I'm telling young people now is what you got to do is you got to find you got to find a balance. And most young people, even when I was growing up, did not have a balance at this age or at your age or a little bit older. Because spend. And there's billions, especially even today, even more so, there's billions or millions of dollars that's been flooded into advertising in the marketing for you to buy. And all you got to do is just go look at the statistics for adults that's in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even the 70s, and find out where they're at financially. They got financial challenges. Why? Is because they spent early and they continue to spend because why? They bought things, some of the things that they didn't even need. I asked this question to your brother, and I asked to one of my other students, and I want you to answer this question for me. How many toys do you still have right now from when you was like 3 and 5 years old?
Maybe 2.
2? Do you still play with them?
No.
No? So just think about all the toys that your parents have purchased over the years. Now saying we got the calculator, but just say, for example, no, they say, okay, they would have had a balance because again, the market is to buy for Christmas, to buy for holidays, for your birthday is to buy. Nobody buys stock for the most part for their kids. They go buy things, buy clothes and clothes that they sometimes don't even need. Not everybody, some people need some things, but sometimes we don't even need it. We just buy it because we say, oh, that's gonna make my kid happy or that's gonna make me happy. But just think of this, okay, we're gonna have a balance. We're gonna instead of buying 2 video games, we're gonna buy 1. And we're gonna invest the difference. Just think about how many, the average young person has 10 pair, your age has 10 pair or more of Michael Jordan's tennis shoes. And they're over $100. That's $1,000. Just think if you haven't, so okay, can I deal with 5 and invest the other $500? Just think what you would be. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have for your parents to continue to buy all these toys for holidays and birthdays and all that? Or would you rather have them have balance? And now at 16, they said, Dylan, we didn't buy you all those toys, and we didn't try to keep up with the Joneses like everybody else, or we didn't try to keep up with all the stuff that's coming on television and all the stuff that is thrown on the internet and on billboards as marketing that you got to have it, but we invested part of that money for you. Now you have $10,000. What would you rather have? Would you still have those toys that you don't have now? Because you said you only got 2 now. So all those other toys are gone. So would you rather have that where they bought these toys, but now you don't have it, or would you rather have $10,000?
10,000.
There you go. So again, that comes to balance. So to have balance, and again, when I have you write this down at a later date in your manual, because I got to get back to your binder, but it's having balance, but also making a sacrifice. And you're right there, Dylan. You're ahead of everybody just about that's out there your age. You're probably, especially as an African American young man, you're probably in the 1% of young people that are where you're at. And you're going to be probably, if we do all, the things that we talked about with the diploma program, man, you may be the only one. When you look at the diversity, we can get to that. And you have the funds. So if you're saying that you have $500 available, depending on how aggressive we want to get, we may be able to hit all those categories. because we want to do that. So again, you want to have diversification. If we do the research, everything talks about, you talk about Warren Buffett, you talk about all the other people that big time investors that are billionaires, they have diversification because you want to have safeguards. Because the market, things are going to happen, so you want to have that balance. And that's what I'm going to share with you. I know as I get ready to close, I know that you are investing, or not investing, but you're doing a lot of research, and I'm very, very proud of you. But I do know that you're heavily looking at influencers. We do have to look at who are those influencers, what their backgrounds are. Now I'm more old school or traditional, following the Warren Buffetts and these billionaires, because they've been doing it for years. I'm concerned about a little bit about these influencers. So there's some things that you and I need to talk about, just being careful, because, and I know some people, people are making money, and they're making money by looking at this stuff daily and making moves and changing things. But the stock market is really not designed for that for the most part. And I saw this one was on video now, but it actually was on, I think it was on CNN, or I can't remember. I was looking at it one night, and they had a young man that was 18 years old, and he had been investing, and I think he was probably in the millions of dollars, because he was driving, and I could somebody your age, and you see somebody that's 18 years old, and they're driving, $100,000 car. And then he moved to Miami, moved from his parents' house at 18, and lives in a really nice apartment. And then he was going to the fancy restaurants and had the clothes and all that. And he was living a life. And so naturally, as a young person, you're gonna want to follow him. But just because he did it doesn't mean that you're gonna be able to do it. So you gotta be careful with that, because he doesn't have wisdom, he doesn't have knowledge, as much as, again, you gotta just find that balance. So I'm not saying not follow him, but again, let's figure out to make sure that you got the right balance and that you don't lose a lot of money also. And so what ended up happening, he followed somebody, well, he had a bunch of people that followed him, and he took advice from somebody that was a scammer. And so he had to go back and apologize to all the people, because they lost a lot of money because they took his advice. So we're going to talk about that at a later date, very soon, but we need to talk about that, because I want to make sure that I understand on how you are, because we really haven't really talked about, because we just got you set up to start investing, and you really took off compared to what I thought you were going to do, man. You slammed it. So now that you slammed it or crushed it, I need to make sure that, hey, that you're making the right decisions, and you find that balance, and making sure that you're doing your research. And you may look at influencers, but also take in consideration the Warren Buffetts and those other people in the world, because they spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get advice. And then also they've been long-term successful at it. Somebody that's been doing this for a year, a couple of years, yeah, they've done it then, but what would they be like that 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? And that's where you got to find, okay, what is that whole balance? But this is really, really great, man. You just don't know, again, how proud I am of you. And again, I appreciate you sharing this, and you're going to change the world. So not only are you going to be able to do this, but you're going to be able to talk to other young people. And I believe that eventually, you're going to be out there, and people are going to be listening to you, and you're going to be the motivational speaker or the influencer of really showing young people on how to do this, and to do it the right way, by having that balance, by having the calculator. We're going to do a risk assessment. Next time we meet, we're going to have you take a risk assessment. And again, I already know, just based on what you've already done, that, and you should be, because you're young, that you want to be at the higher level of risk. As you get older, when you start getting into your 40s, even or into your 50s, you want to find that balance in your portfolio, that you may not be as aggressive, or you may only have a certain portion that may be, okay, I'm going to be really aggressive here. Okay, then in these other areas, I'm going to be a little bit more moderate, because I can't afford to lose a lot of money, because one, you built it up over the long term. Because again, the stock market, key point for the stock market for the most part is long term. People got into the penny market stock market, but then a lot of people lost a lot of money. Some people made some money. It's just like going to business. No, people look at, oh man, Amazon made it and made it big time, but how many people didn't make it? That's out of business. So again, just finding that balance. Okay. So do you have any questions for me? This has been phenomenal, man. Again, I just can't overemphasize how proud I am, of you. Thank you for, bringing up the screens and all that. And, we, like I said, we're going to get ready. And I'm doing this also to prepare you to get ready for our info commercial that we need to do. Like, I'm going to share parts of this with different people, what we did today, but eventually, we're going to have official commercial to say, okay, this is what we're doing. We'll have to, do some practice, make sure that everything is smooth, because, I'm looking at even, looking at the opportunity, not only in the DeKalb area, in the Clayton County area, in the Fulton County area, but actually, seriously, I'm working on it, is that, we'll be able to go on the north side of Atlanta, we'll be able to go throughout the entire state of Georgia, but also go national. And so, and that's going to be powerful, man. And you're going to be a great part of that.
Thank you.
So what you think?
I like it.
You like it? Okay, man. So if you don't have anything else, man, like I said, I love you. I appreciate you. And send those over, like I said, send those the charts over to me and get them over to your mom so she can print it out. Because one day I may stop by the house and just, okay, I'm going to come on in and just look at them on your wall, man. So I can say, man, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm already proud of you, but just say, man, I'm really proud of you. You got it up on the wall. You something that when you wake up in the morning, you can see that. You can look at it, and then you can say, hey, I'm going to even get bigger than that.
You heard me?
Now, what you say?
I said I have the dollar coin.
Oh, you got the dollar coin? Can you show it to me?
I'll go grab it.
Okay.